Hi everyone, welcome to your first week of COM 3170, Design for Print and Online Media. This is your introduction into visual communication. So, what exactly is visual communication and graphic design? It is a lot of things. When people ask me what I do and I say, oh, I do graphic design, if they say, what's that? Depending on my mood or who I'm talking to, I usually just say, oh, I make logos and websites and things like that. And people usually say, oh, okay, they understand. But it's so much broader. There's so much more to it. And we are going to delve into that within the course of the semester. Graphic design can be branding and style. It can be illustration and drawing. It's definitely a service, so you don't always get to make whatever you want to make. A lot of times we are working for an end goal and a client. It's typography, it's strategy and solutions, and it's absolutely communication. You will hear me use the phrase visual communication a lot through this course because what graphic design literally is making visuals to communicate an end goal. So, with that being said, graphic design is the process of visual communication and problem solving through the use of typography, photography, and illustration. The art and skill of combining text and pictures. And graphic design is everywhere, encompassing the means through which most written language is transmitted. If you look around wherever you are right now, I'm sure you can find something that has been designed. Everything from products, packaging, somebody decided exactly how things like this are going to look, to brochures and communication. This is a Scholastic book order form. Business cards, and then even products as simple as this CF card for a camera. Somebody took the time to lay out this type, decide how it's going to exist within this square and what it's going to look like. Absolutely everything has been touched by a graphic designer. You will start noticing it everywhere you go, and we will delve into how these things are communicating and if they're effective or if they're not. So good design is a skill. I want you all to really let this sink in. Design is a skill, and whenever something's a skill, you can get better at it. You don't have to be a great artist. You don't have to have the knowledge of design already. You can get better at design through this course, regardless of where you're starting. By practicing and seeing design and doing all of those things, I want you all to come into this course knowing that this is a skill that you can develop. So I always like to start off with an explanation of what art is versus what design is. And design is understood. So you are creating something and you want everyone to see it and get the same result. You want to communicate the same message to people. Art is interpreted. So 3 people might be standing in front of a piece of art and all have entirely different reactions, and it might speak something differently to each of those people. If your design does that, it probably wasn't effective design. So this image right here drives the point home of design goes out. It is communicating something to the people, where art, the people get something out of the art. Design is solution driven. It's based on external constraints. It's useful, clearly understood, and it's motivating. You want your design to do something. This is why people create a design. They need it to communicate. They have a goal. They want a call to action. The design has to do something for people. So it's always solution driven. You usually have a set of parameters, and within those parameters, you have an end goal. External constraints. So one of the best pieces of design that pops off my head right now is a stop sign. It has a job, it has a function. It's also been designed and it has become so understood as a piece of visual communication that nearly everybody knows what that means intuitively. So your design should be clearly understood by everybody who sees it, and it should motivate the end person to do some sort of action. Art is interpreted, it's subjective, and it's a tool for design. I like to include that being a good artist does not necessarily make you a good designer, and vice versa. It can absolutely be helpful. Like I said, it's a tool for design, but it is not necessary. They are different and the same, and they come together and they can also be apart. This is a great example of art versus design. Usually this reaction of, is she smiling, is 50-50. In a class full of people, if I asked, is she smiling? Usually about half would raise their hand for yes and half would raise their hand for no. This is the Mona Lisa by Leonardo da Vinci, if you guys don't know that. But this is a famous painting, and her smile has become notorious, whether it's there or not. So this is a piece of art that is intended to be interpreted by the viewer, versus something like this, which is an advertisement for a product. Are these ladies smiling? Absolutely yes. This advertisement does not want that to be a question. They want you to know that this is a happy person, they are smiling, and you should buy this product. They want to evoke that sense of happiness in you that they hope translates to their product. So that would be the difference. Is she smiling? Maybe. Are they smiling? Yes. This is design, and this is art. So visual communication, that's a phrase you'll hear me say a lot because we are visually communicating. Everybody communicates and understands and processes information differently. Usually the lowest percentage of people remember what they hear. And then reading has a 20% retention, whereas 80% of people remember what they see and do. Visuals help you process that information much faster than not having visuals. And then all of those things combined, 90% of communication is nonverbal. So when you have your text on a page, what the entire design is saying as it comes together is also communicating a message as well as what's actually written on that page. Creative visual thinking. So visual thinking is about taking advantage of our innate ability to see both with our eyes and our mind's eye to discover ideas that are otherwise invisible, develop those ideas quickly and intuitively, and then share those ideas with other people in a way that they understand. To sum this up, what this paragraph is stating is that you are taking something from your mind and putting it on a page for someone else to see, and then they understand. So this image here that I've created shows you the loop of ideas to physical creation to visual interpretation and back again. So that's what this class is all about. It's about taking something from your head that's just a mere idea, executing it, turning it into a physical design and existing out in the world that someone else can then visualize, see, and understand. And then you start that process all over. The process of visual thinking can be broken down into these actions. Looking, so you're looking, you're collecting, you're screening. You're seeing, you're selecting and clumping things together. Imagining, you're seeing what's not there. And you're showing, making it clear. A lot of your initial brainstorming will consist of the looking and seeing. A lot of people like to brainstorm through mood boards or looking at other designs. So when you're doing that, you're going to start collecting, screening, do I like that, do I not like that, clumping ideas together, seeing patterns and developing a sense for what you like and don't like and selecting that into your own inspiration. If you can get to this point where you're imagining for your visual thinking, that is fantastic. If you can get a set of parameters, have someone explain a project to you, see it in your head, and then show it and make it clear, that is the ultimate goal. But we all need a little help, so sometimes it absolutely helps to see and look and to do this process. But ultimately, the goal is to be able to see things in your head first as somebody's explaining an idea to you, and then be the person that can get these ideas and explain them to other people. And then showing is making all of that clear so someone else can take it and understand it. Sketching for the design process. Having a sketchbook is not required for this course. However, I do want you guys to start developing this as a skill set. It's super helpful for visual exploration and rapid concept development. It will make you a better, faster designer. And if you start in the programs, I guarantee you're going to get frustrated. You're going to stick to ideas that maybe aren't the best solutions longer than you should. And all of these things can be helped by starting in a sketchbook and getting your ideas out. So you become a faster designer if you start in a sketchbook. This is because you have time to idea dump and get all of the ideas out and then see what you think would work best. And you focus on the concept first instead of execution. If you start in the programs, you're going to work on execution rather than, is this the strongest concept? It also helps you communicate with clients. I don't know how quickly and easily it is to just show someone something. Let me rephrase that. It's so much quicker and easier to show somebody something and have them be like, yeah, that's kind of what I'm thinking. You will sit down with a client and they will explain all of these crazy ideas to you, and they may not have a clear concept, or they might have a clear concept. And it's great to start from that point to be like, is this the logo that you had in mind? And they can see it, even if it's this messy. And they can be like, yeah, that's exactly what I thought. And then you have a stronger understanding moving forward as you're doing the execution. And then it helps you know why you're designing. You always need to know why you're designing. Remember, design is solution driven. If you don't know why you're executing this design, chances are it's not going to be the best design. It also helps you be able to defend your work. If somebody comes back and says, well, did you try this? You know what? You said, yes, I did try doing a circle with text up and above. It didn't work. So then I created this other logo. And having a sketchbook helps you go back and think about your thought process and explain why you did what you did. So it also helps you to find your own creative process. This could be a little bit different for everybody, but here are some tips to help you get started when you're working on a project. Research is key. Know other parameters, what things you need to do, what your end goal is. Know the project, research other projects that have been similar. And then you can go in your sketchbook and you can get those obvious ideas out first. So if someone has a business with a certain name, you might immediately think of some imagery that would go with that and make a great logo. Once you've got that obvious idea, push farther and see what else you can come up with. Don't worry about being bad. Literally get anything on the page, draw anything, square, circle, triangle, etc. Sometimes you get stuck and you're sitting at your sketchbook and you really don't know what you could do. If you just start moving that hand, the physical is going to catch up with the mental and you will start getting ideas flowing. So just get your ideas out. Don't worry about it. Just first idea dump everything into your sketchbook. Some of you might also feel more comfortable doing this type of thing as lists and bullet journaling or using words, and that's totally fine too. Anything that helps you organize your thought process and get them out there. Once you've done these steps here, and I want you to dig deeper for unique ideas. Take a look at everything you've put out. And is there a better solution? Is there something that's maybe not obvious that you didn't explore? See what else you can come up with and evaluate that. And then understand the problem you're solving. So you can go back and say, are my ideas really solving the problem? Is it helping with my end goal? Is this a valuable solution? And then keep pushing for stronger, more innovative concepts. So in conclusion, you're going to start analyzing the visual communication you encounter daily. This is just going to be part of this course. It's going to be a blessing and a curse. So as you start coming across more design and you start noticing things that are being designed in the way that they're designed, I want you guys to start asking questions. How did the type and pictures work together? How can I represent the same thing in a different way? If you really like something, pick apart why you like it, and then think about how you can use that for your own design. It might be totally unrelated subject matter, but there's probably something in there that you can pull for your own inspiration. Ask yourself what the message is, and is it clear? This will be the number one thing when you start coming across bad design that you notice. The message is not clear. It's not effective design. It's not communicating. And then you might find something that is the epitome of this. It's super clear. It's perfectly designed. And then you can ask yourself, why is it like that? Pick it apart, analyze it, and put these together as skills that you can move forward with. How does this make you feel? If design evokes an emotion, it's super effective. That means a designer did a good job. Or, it could just make you feel like, ugh, I don't like that. There's different colors, there's different moods, all of these being conveyed in design. So analyze what those things are that's truly making you feel about this piece the way you feel about it. Do you like it? Why or why not? Don't just blatantly say, I like it, I don't like it. Analyze it, figure out why you like it so you can use that for yourself later on. If you don't like something, really kind of figure out what that is, what's off about it. And then how could this be improved? If you don't like something, What would you do differently? If you do like something, how would you make it even better? How would you make it your own? So I want you guys to think about these questions as you move through the world and start analyzing design this semester, and these will help you become a better designer. These are all tools for you to use in addition to learning software and being a graphic designer. Just analyzing creative visual thinking is a big component of this course. All right, so that is it for the week 1 lecture. I hope you found that interesting, and check the modules for your next steps.